Hail Satan. Hail Father Lucifer. Hail Father Satan. Or King Satan. Hail King Lucifer, Father Satan. Hail King Lucifer. Hail Lord Belial. Hail Lord Leviathan. Hail Queen Astaroth. Hail beautiful Queen Lilith, the mother of all demons. And hail Lord Pazuzu. Hail King Azazel. Hail Lord Belberith. Hail Lord King Paimon. Hail Lord Mammon. Hail King Lord Amon. Hail Lord Amaimon. Hail Lord Beelzebub. Ave Satanis. Sorry about that, brothers and sisters. My last video that ended up it ended up basically cut out because fucking look at this son of a bitch. No, I cut out because I ended up I got a phone call. I was expecting a phone call from my mother. And I thought that's who it was. But it wasn't her at all. It was some other fucking place wanting to know what I thought about healthcare system in Ontario. What I think about the healthcare system in Ontario. Huh. Not depends on what part of the healthcare system you're talking about. The fucking healthcare system here is okay in one way because a lot of it is free, but it also sucks in another way. Now, it depends on where you're to. But anyway, what the fuck am I talking about? I didn't do a video. I didn't start a video to talk about the healthcare system. I was grabbing the cigarette. But I do know what I started the video on. The one where I finished the last one on. Of course, the wind's blowing now to fuck up my, there you go. Yeah, but anyway, what I was going to say was, when I did my last video, like I said, I got cut off in that. I didn't really get cut off, I just stopped it. I apologize for that, so this will be like part 2, okay? I really don't do part 1 and part 2 bits, but sometimes you have to compromise. Last time I was on doing rituals, okay? That's where I left off. And I left off about people coming up with crap excuses, which is nothing, only excuses. That's all it is. You know, face it. You know, either you are a Satanist, okay? Either you are a true satanic, demonic, Father Satan's sinister child, or you're not, okay? It goes like as simple as that. It's either you are or you're not. There's no in between. There's no sitting on the fence, because you don't sit on the fence in Satanism. It's either you are a true, traditional, 100% sinister Satanist, or you're a cloud-hopping pansy. A sheep. I want, you know, or you're a cloud-hopping pansy, one or the other. Now, that being said, I know myself personally, I ain't no fucking cloud-hopping pansy. I'm 100% pure. I'm 100% pure, 100% true, 100% honest about my theistic, traditional, spiritual belief system. And I truly 100% do not give a fuck who likes it or who doesn't like it. My mother, I'm going to bring her up again. If she only knew I was talking about her in videos. My mother, who's 88 years old, hates my belief system. She doesn't realize that I truly am traditional Satanists. She doesn't understand that part. Like, she knows always been, you know, I've always been those, as long as I can remember, man. I can remember doing rituals way back when I was like 21. When I was 20, 19. I can remember doing satanic rituals. And in the little town I'm from, there's only like fucking, what, like, now there's like 80 people that lives there. And when I was growing up, there was like 250, 300 at the most. Okay? And we used to have beach fires almost every night, especially during the summer. You know, me and like five other guys that we used to bang around together. Like, we were like fucking, we were closer than brothers, man. Like, all of us. And we used to do everything. There was nothing we didn't do. And I'm not joking. When I say we used to do everything, I mean we used to do every fucking thing. And a lot of shit you wouldn't even think of. And I can remember the first giant Bible that I burnt. Okay, doing a ritual. I was doing a ritual at the same time. And that was part of my ritual that I was doing. I actually got a guy, my neighbor actually, he went to a Pentecostal school. Okay, to a Zion school, Pentecost school. And every Friday, he'd bring me like, this was a weekly occurrence, right? Every Friday he'd bring me a Bible. He'd bring me 3 Bibles on Friday. And from Monday to Friday, he'd bring me 5. So I'd have 8 Bibles every single week that he'd bring me. And I'd destroy every single weekend. During the week and on the weekend. And of course, being in a small town, like, I mean extremely small, right? The majority of the people there, you mention the word the devil, or you mention Satan, or Satanism, or anything like that, they were all frightened of it. That's how paranoid and fucking retarded and Zionists are. Okay? And, in saying that, I can remember there was a crowd there one night. We were having a beach fire. And me and the boys were there, and you know, females as well, of course, right? You gotta have your females. And we were having and the first Bible that I tore the pages out of, I lit the fire with it, because that's what I used to do, right? With some of them, I lit the fire with it, and I ended up when I was doing the ritual, I lit the fire with it, and there was people there that it, like, you know, they were just there like drinking like 2 or 3 beer, right? And we were getting hammered. Like, we were getting like fucking carry each other home deal, right? And I can remember the first time that they watched me doing it, a lot of people, like probably about 15 or 20, you know, higher up people that thought they were better than everybody else, you know? We'd be drinking wine and we'd be drinking fucking beer and they'd be drinking wine. That kind of crowd. Which, you know, don't get me wrong, I think wine is great, but for 17 or 18 or 19, 20-year-olds, drinking it at a beach fire, come on. Drinking it at a beach party, come on. You know. And when I done it, they ran away. Like, I'm not joking, like, they literally ran away. They didn't walk. They didn't just turn around and say, I'm leaving. They ran home. And of course, the next day, all over Howley, Howley was the name of the town, right? And of course, the next day, it was all over town that I was burning Bibles down the point, down the angle. Down the angle it was. So he stood over to the point too. But anyway, of course, my sister said to me, she lives in Newfoundland now. I was talking to her she asked me about it, right? Of course, she had to ask me, right? She knew, but she knew, but she had to ask me, right? And I started laughing as soon as she said it, right? And she said, you know that's all over Holly. I said, do I look like I care, Mark? I said, I don't care. I said, I am what I am. I said, my belief system is what it is, and that's it. I said, I am what I am. My belief system is what it is, and that's all there's to it. I said, I'm not gonna change my belief system for nobody or nothing. And of course, after everyone knew that, you know, there was a couple Satanists in town, right? They were shit baked. Like, they were locking their doors, they were doing everything. So of course, I got my hands on a can of spray paint this time, and I spray painted it up, like not in town, but around town, out around town, the edges. I spray painted rocks, I've spray painted a lot of things, man. Like, I tagged a lot of things with, you know, pentagrams and Hail Satan and 666 and Satan's God and all this stuff, right? And when I went back into, and of course that terrified everyone. That's how fucking easily scared they were. And of course, the next day, not the next day, far from it, I wish it was, but this was like in 98, 99. Yeah, this was before 98, it was like 96, something like that. Before the internet. And then of course I got, you know, I was getting into it deeper and deeper and deeper. And I went back in 2010, back home, and me and a buddy of mine he's the only friend of mine that lives in the town. No, there's two, him and another guy, we were like brothers, right? And he was with me when he used to bang around me when we were doing our thing down there, right? We went down to the Angle Brook, where we used to have all the parties and that, and beach fires, down Angle Brook and down the point. And one building, there's a building there, an old building. Like, it's not really big, it's an old building that Hydro used to own, or Newfoundland Light and Power used to own. Still tagged up with what I put there, like fucking 2010, like 15 years prior. And I looked at it, because Eugene showed me, right? His name is Eugene, my buddy. Eugene showed me, and I looked at it, and I roared, man. I roared laughing. I said, you mean to tell me, man, that's still there? I said, after all these years, I said, that's still there. And Eugene said, yeah, he said they never painted it over. I said, I'm amazed they never painted it over. I said, and then we went over to the trestle where the train used to cross, when the train was going across Newfoundland. And all kinds of rocks and everything over there are still all tagged up. So let's just say I left my mark on my little town that I grew up in. And I'll never be forgotten. That I know for sure. Which I think is fucking amazing, actually. But I matured, but that just means that I got into Satanism deeper. Sinister Satanism. And I always will. But anyway, to get back to, I said tell that old story. But to get back to the part about rituals. In my honest opinion, okay, there's no excuse for anybody not to do satanic rituals. Unless the person is in the hospital, maybe. And then, if their partner, if they got a wife or, you know, a wife or a husband or a girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, what have you, if they have a partner that is willing to, like, if they're not too sick, right? If they're able to do rituals in the hospital room. And they are, all they need to do is make sure they got a candle with them or whatever. And do the ritual. They can still do it that way. All they got to do is pull the curtain over. Pull the curtain around, right? But, and that gets back to people that are perfectly healthy, younger, probably not even younger. Yeah, I'll say younger. Because it seems like the younger generation is lazy. And the older, and you know, and they want everything now. They don't believe in doing rituals for stuff and doing rituals, period. Which to me is a load of crap. Because I 100% believe in doing rituals. Always have and I always will. And I'll be doing rituals until the day I die. And I'll be thanking Father. So I thank Father Satan every single day. I thank every demon, all the demonic powers every single day. Every night I do, even if it's only a small ritual, every single night I do a ritual. And I'm not joking. Even if it's a small ritual, I still do it. And I always will. So there's no excuse, and I don't care who the person is, alright? There's no excuse for anybody not to do rituals. None. It's just laziness, in my honest opinion. In my opinion, it's just pure laziness. There's no excuse for nobody not to do a ritual. Or do rituals. You know, they can say they're on the road all the time, they're a truck driver. Just say. And they're doing long runs. They can do the rituals in their truck. Or, you know, they can do them they can do them at rest stops, in like find a little patch of woods or something. Like I said before, you don't need very many trees around you, man. You know, you'll get nosy people no matter where you are to wondering what you're doing, but that's just part of life. You know, people nowadays are just nosy. Oh. But that's just the way it is when it comes to that, right? And when it comes to the left-hand path, you know, there's no excuse for, I don't care who says what. In my honest opinion, the only people that don't do rituals are lazy. Unless they're like, unless they're too sick or something to do them. That's the only way. Other than that, I think they're just too lazy to do them. And I don't give a fuck who the person is. The fuck did you fall? Yeah, in my honest opinion, I really don't. And the young people today think that the older generation, they think that they don't need to do rituals. They think that they don't need to study. They think that they don't need to read. They don't need to do this. They don't need to do that. Yeah, you need to fucking do. Sorry. But you really do. Otherwise, you're going to get nowhere. If you don't do rituals, like true satanic, demonic rituals, you're not getting nowhere. And I don't give a fuck who the person is. In my honest opinion, if you don't do rituals, satanic, demonic rituals, you're not a true Satanist. You have to do rituals to be a true Satanist. And I don't give a fuck who thinks what. That's my honest opinion. If you do not do rituals, you're not a true Satanist. You're a phony. You're a fake. You're a fraud. And the rituals have to be real. Not just fucking tell people you did them. You actually have to do them. Otherwise, you're not going to feel Father Satan and whichever demon you're doing the invocation to. You're not going to feel their presence at all. Because you're an idiot. Because you're not doing the fucking rituals. Which you should be doing. And that's my honest opinion. I don't care who the person is. I'd say it if it was fucking somebody I knew for 100 years. Somebody I knew for 30 years. I'd say the same for 30 years. I'd say exact same thing. If you don't do rituals, you can forget it. You're not getting nowhere in your path. And I mean nowhere. And I'm not just saying it, I mean it. Bring my bottle down, put it in the garbage. Or in the recyclables. No, and I'm not joking, I'm dead serious. Like if you honestly, if you're being honest to yourself and honest with the demonic and honest with Father Satan, and you want to be a true Satanist, you want to be 100% sinister, satanic, demonic, you have to do rituals. And I know there's many people out there, okay? And I don't care who likes it or who don't like it. I know people who are in groups, okay? People who run groups. People who have I know two people especially who are in a group, and they talk about everything, this and that, and neither one of them don't do any rituals. And I heard that from maybe 6 or 8 different people. So they're all not lying. Maybe if it was 1 or 2, maybe they're lying. But not 6 or 8, no. So I don't care who you are. If you're Father Satan's, if you claim to be Father Satan's true child, male or female, and you don't do any satanic or demonic rituals, you're not a true Satanist. You have to do rituals in order to be real. And with that, I'm going to let everybody go. Ave Satanis, Ave Lucifera, Ave Lord Belial, Ave Lord Pazuzu, Ave Beautiful Queen Lilith, Ave King Asmodee, Ave King Asmodeus, Ave Beautiful Queen Lilith. And I'll talk to you next, my brothers and sisters, true brothers and sisters. I love you. Talk to you next. Bye. Ciao. Peace out.